Ruby wants to say hi and give her respects as well. You're a beautiful cat. Do you know that? You just have the kindest little soul. She got me a little choked up when she came in here when I was doing this. I got a little choked up. This video is, as many of you know, since it's late in the afternoon, if you've watched the news or gotten on CNN, Sir Christopher Lee passed away today. And as many of you also probably know by now, I am a massive Lord of the Rings fan. So, you know, this is a huge blow to me because I absolutely adore Christopher Lee in these films. As Saruman, he is just magic. I'm going to go and show you guys a picture of him in these particular films. There he is as Saruman, sitting on his throne. He was the White Wizard at one point of the Istari, which is just going into a bunch of words that some of you might know and some of you might not. Sorry, I'll try not to get all bogged down in Lord of the Ringdom. There he is again. I love that spread. He got to work on the coolest set. And then right before, I think there's a picture of him with Gandalf, which is super cool. Two fantastic actors standing together. Sir Ian McKellen and Sir Christopher Lee. That's just an awesome sight in and of itself, much less being Saruman and Gandalf. This is a more current picture of him that many of you, it's not showing up very well, is it? Beautiful little twinkling face. He was 93 years old. He did a lot of horror films as well, what they called Hammer films in the 70s, and he played Dracula in most of those films. Vampire ring on. So I'm sure that I've seen a lot of those films when I was a little girl because my mom was a horror addict, and and I loved vampires from the time I was really small. Like, I knew what vampires were from the time I could walk. So I'm sure that I've seen him in those. I can't watch Lord of the Rings today. It's just gonna probably really upset me. But I do have a collection of those horror Hammer films in the living room, and surprisingly I haven't seen a lot of those in adulthood. So I thought, well, I can watch some of those today. That'd be pretty fun. I can tell you his face as a vampire, if you've seen it, is pretty terrifying. He is a just fantastic actor no matter what he did. I know he was involved in charities and things like that as well, and was just all around a very kind man. He also was a huge ringer, which is a Lord of the Rings fan. He read Lord of the Rings every year faithfully. He spoke Elvish, and he once met J.R.R. Tolkien for a brief moment and got to speak with him, which is amazing. And one of his dreams was that he would live long enough for Lord of the Rings to be made into a film so that he could star in it. And I believe he wanted to be Gandalf in the films, but he ended up being Saruman. But I know he was really happy to be in the films. And I know that one of the things that he did was made sure that people were pronouncing things correctly, because he did speak Elvish, and I'd have to look it up if he spoke any of the other languages, because he might have. He was incredibly intelligent. Elvish is very hard to learn. I've tried to learn it. It's really not easy. So I smile when I start talking about these things, because I just think it's neat, because if you've seen his costume that he wore in the film, it's just all these robes. And one of the things that happened in the film is Saruman has these marble stairs that he has to come down, and they're steep, and they're, you know, these black stairs. And let's see, he would have been well, let's see, that film was in 2000, so about 15 years ago. So however old that would have been, still pretty elderly, and he would have been trying to get down those stairs in those robes which hung far over his feet, and he was having trouble getting down them, and he just finally got really irritated, and he was like, "Peter, I simply cannot get down these goddamn stairs." and that's in the outtakes if you have the I think extended edition DVD of, it's either Fellowship of the Ring or the Two Towers. I think it's Fellowship of the Ring, actually. Yeah, it's Fellowship of the Ring. And then Peter Jackson, without missing a beat, was like, "You did it just a minute ago." I'm just like, you're talking to Christopher Lee like that? I couldn't do that. So anyway, it is a sad day, but when you start to remember him and some of the things he did and said, and just the thought of him wandering around in those robes, making sure with his amazing voice that I can't even, you know, I'm doing it all wrong, but he had that commanding voice, even when he was just speaking to you normally, you know, with him wandering around with that commanding voice, making sure everyone was pronouncing things properly, you know, like Sauron. You know, a lot of people say Sauron, it's Sauron, you know, and things like that. Just when you think of small things like that, it kind of brings a smile to your face. So anyway, he's going to be deeply missed, but he lived a long life, and he lived to see one of his dreams come true, which was to see the Lord of the Rings made into a film and to get to be in them. So Christopher, you are going to be deeply, deeply missed, and the Ringer community, we love you very, very much. And I'm going to read something that I read anytime someone passes. Sometimes I just read it to myself, and sometimes I read it out loud. It's Pippin and Gandalf talking to each other when things are pretty bad and it looks like they're not going to make it. So Pippin says, "I didn't think it would end this way." And Gandalf says, "End?" I can't say it like Ian McKellen. Gandalf says, "End? No, the journey doesn't end here. Death is just another path, one that we all must take. The gray rain curtain of this world rolls back, and all turns to silver glass, and then you see it." "What, Gandalf? See what?" "White shores, and beyond a far green country under a swift sunrise." Pippin, "Well, that isn't so bad." Gandalf, No, it isn't." So, Christopher, the Grey Havens wait, and we will all see you there. Thank you, guys. Blessed be.